Greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of the Roundup where I recap and review Korean drama episodes. Today we are going to be talking about episode 3 and 4 of Warm and Cozy. We start off episode 3 with Jeongju receiving her new Jeju Island ID, and I had no idea that people who lived on Jeju had a separate ID, so you learn something new every day. After she's done with that, she heads on over to the restaurant where we learn from Pong-san that this restaurant is barely ever open, which doesn't really surprise me because we know that Gonu is lazy as hell. He tells Jeongju about a blogger that regularly visits the restaurant, so out of curiosity she heads on over to the blog to take a read. So through her perusings on this blog, she learns that Gonu had a first love that he met on Jeju Island on his 19th birthday, and I guess she just automatically assumes that he was talking about her. And then they hilariously play Love Is the Moment from the Airs over this clip. Good old Hong sisters. Gonu comes along and interrupts her musings with concerns over her health because she's kind of living off of cup noodles. So he thinks she's dying and she thinks that he's in love with her. So we have a misunderstanding already in motion. So we know that Jeongju lives in a shack and she's trying to get her roof fixed because there's a storm coming, and so Gonu won't hear any of it. He's going to help her fix the roof. Jeongju went off with the realtor to help get quotes for her building work, and I guess to also be used as a translator because the Jeju dialect is no joke. So of course Gonu is left on his own to fix the roof, and he gets a call from Jimin who lets him know that she's on her way to Jeju and she wants to get dinner at his restaurant. Any promises he made about fixing this roof and making dinner for Jeongju are soon forgotten. He goes off to go make food for Jimin and get ready. He wants to get Jimin her favorite champagne, but then he remembers that his brother has cut off his credit card, and the only option that he apparently thinks he has is to take the key that Jeongju got from her old workplace. After all of this work, he gets a phone call from Jiwon telling him that she's not going to be coming to Jeju. Actually, she's lying. She got a phone call from his brother asking to come in for a job, but hey, I guess it was karma. Poor Jeongju. She gets to the restaurant hoping to have dinner, but then instead is informed by Pong-san that Jiwon is actually Konu's first love. So now she doesn't have dinner, she's not Konu's first love, and she gets back to her place to find out that he didn't fix her roof and it's raining, so just poor girl. So she's already having a pretty shitty night, and it's made worse when she discovers that Gonu took the key. So she goes over to the restaurant to confront him. This confrontation didn't go as I expected it to. She confronts him and asks him about the key and tells him how angry she was that he didn't cook for him, and then he gets pissed off with her and then ends up throwing money at her. This is kind of the point where I realized I don't like this character at all. She goes back to her place to try and fix this roof, but Gonu stops her because it's really dangerous, and he takes her back to the restaurant and makes her some anchovy noodle soup. They end up spending the night drinking, which leads to the good old K-drama contract. So she gets his restaurant and he gets 50k from her. We have what I guess is going to be another love line in this drama. His big brother has been trying to give up smoking, and he goes secretly to go smoke his last cigarette, but ends up falling in the water and then gets saved by one of the divers. He's going all moony and Google-eyed over her, but then is brought right back down to earth when she slaps him upside the head because she thinks he was trying to commit suicide. Gonu is now free to move back to Seoul, but then he finds out from Jiwon that she's taken a job with his brother, and now he's frantically trying to get back to Jeju. Jeongju knows something's up with Gonu, and eventually after talking stuff out, they come to an agreement. She lets him stay at the restaurant, he helps out, and she gives him an allowance. She's taking this restaurant in a new direction, and she's going to be serving noodle soup from now on, and to help save on costs, she's going to be picking up these shells herself from outside the restaurant because hey, if it's free, why not? The mayor spots her and goes over to give her a hand because she's doing it all wrong. Jiwon starts her first day at the hotel and kind of lets slip to everyone else that she's friends with the boss, but he shuts that down real quick, letting her know to keep it professional. Gonu and Jeongju get into an argument about the advertising for the restaurant. He thinks it's cheap and she's trying to save on money. He gets into a hissy fit, kicks a sign, and then paint ends up spilling all over her. She has a load of shells left over, so she decides to go and give them to a local restaurant, and along the way she's spotted by the mayor who sees her struggling, so he helps her out. Mr. Mayor teaches her a thing or two about dating and doing business in Jeju, and he also promises to come by later to try their noodle soup. Jeongju buys abalone for Gonu. and we all know that he doesn't deserve this. Chungju goes off to find Konu to give him the abalone, and she gets her first run-in with Chiwon, which was not a pleasant one. They had a bit of an accident, and Chiwon ends up dropping her iced coffee, and she bounces, leaving Jeonju to clean it up, which sadly is the moment where her old work colleagues bump into her, so they think she has fallen on hard times. Konu thankfully white knights her, and then he invites all of the work colleagues down to have some food at Warm and Cozy later on that evening. Mr. Mayor comes round to give Jeongju some abalone that he scored off of the diver ladies, and he notices the old work colleagues. So of course they recognize him, and he begs Jeongju to help keep his secret from everybody else. Konu and Jeongju decide to have dinner together, so as she goes off to get ready, Chiwon turns up. If I'm being honest, these last 2 episodes really annoyed me, and I ended up kind of getting off of this Jeongju and Konu ship because he just did too much, and I feel like the writers are going to have to do a lot to redeem his character. He doesn't do her roof, he forgets to make this chick dinner, he takes money from the till, he expects her to pay for this abalone that he wants to get for Chiwon. Just too many lists of things that this guy has done. He's childish as heck. He's just really annoying, and I quite frankly just don't like this character anymore. Whereas on the other hand, I am shipping Mr. Mayor and Jeongju so hard, but I know that this is a ship that's going to go nowhere because he's obviously the second lead. There were a couple of cute moments, like when Konu got her that little apron, and I was like squealing because I have the same, well, it's not an apron, but it's a little cushion, but it's the exact same material, so I had a bit of a fangirl moment there. It was nice the way the mayor took her under his wing, and he kind of gave her some pointers, like if you want other people to come and eat at your restaurant, you have to go to theirs and spend money there so that they will reciprocate for you. So it was a nice little kind of bit of information for her, which clearly Konu did not get. We have our comic relief couple, and the Hong sisters always have a comic relief kind of coupling in their dramas. So the brother and the diver woman, I think that's what that's going to be for this drama. I really hope that somehow in the next coming episodes Konu is redeemed. I feel he's going to get worse, but I have second lead syndrome, and we all know that that is a sinking ship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Roundup. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye. Company, and they were the worst. It was a horrible experience, and I didn't get to see as much of Jeju as I wanted to see. Like, not Jimin, Chiwon.